So when the conscious mind becomes conscious of the subconscious by going deep within yourself, meditating, going deep within yourself, you gain higher insight. Your conscious mind becomes conscious of the subconscious memories. This is why these are tools, because these are your tools in life. The feminine tool, the compass, is the subconscious mind, and it's on top of the square, symbolizing the subconscious mind giving orders to the conscious mind, creating your reality. You need to actively program your subconscious mind to gain mastery over your reality, because your conscious mind is taking orders. You just have to make sure that the programs in the subconscious are the correct orders you want for your life. So the book of Symbolism I wrote pretty much goes over every single occult symbol that you could possibly imagine, explaining everything into great depth. World War III is not going to kill you. You never actually die. Your consciousness exists and operates outside of this physical dimension. If your mind can move forwards and backwards in time, this means your mind is not bound to the present moment, which your body is. You are not the body. You are the one controlling the mind. You are a higher being of consciousness controlling this physical body. Every time you go to sleep, you die. Daytime is life, nighttime is death. The summertime is life, wintertime is death. The universe is one giant macro and micro fractal cycle. It is one big macro and microcosm. Stop worrying about death. This is the biggest fear-based mind control that they have installed into our minds. You never, ever die, and knowledge is the only thing that you can take from this world. You are the Baphomet. Baphomet is a symbol. Fire is your spirit. The earth is your physical body. Fish gills represent water, that's your emotion. And wings flap in the air. Air is your mind. We're looking at the spirit, the mind, the emotion, and the physical body. These are the four bodies of your soul, represented by the four gospels of Jesus. The moon represents your psyche and emotion. The moon on top represents a lack of self-control. The moon below represents control over your psyche and emotions. This gesture is as above, so below. Your internal world of thought and emotion produces your external world of your physical life. The goat head represents your lower thought, your lower mind, base level earth survival consciousness. The fire represents your higher mind, your elevated creative mind. Do you live in beast consciousness or God consciousness? Baphomet is not inherently evil, it's a neutral symbol. And it's showing you the two paths that you can take in life. You either master yourself and gain self-control and reach your higher mind, or you live in spiritual deadness in an animal beast-like uncontrolled consciousness. Stop thinking this symbol is evil. You have to understand everything has been inverted in today's world. Women hold the portal into the physical world. That's what the Egyptian Ankh is. It's the portal. The Egyptian male wore the headdress to symbolize the woman, because they are the master builders that create the human temple. The human body is created by the 12 zodiacal astral forces. That's why your body's made out of 12 cell salts for the 12 zodiac signs. She harnesses the energy of the 12 constellations and the 7 planets to manifest your body. She is a womb man, and she is feminine, which is 9. And he is masculine, which is line, which is 1. 0 and 1, the binary code of all creation. This is why there are 10 numbers. She is curvy and he is liney. Feminine quality of consciousness is being hidden and suppressed. They want you stuck in thought and action, and no feminine emotion, because emotion is where we gain empathy and care for one another. They have suppressed the feminine quality of consciousness, emotion, empathy, and true care. This is why everyone is so divided. Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit was to cover up emotion. It's all just male dominated. Even the Jesus cross is lines and no curves, pure masculine. What is the symbolic meaning of Jesus being the Son? In the occult traditions, truth is never handed to you using ordinary language. It is concealed behind layers of symbolism. By veiling the truth behind symbols, it forces the initiate to turn inward, to reflect, to question, and to decode. This inner process awakens consciousness and promotes inner realizations. So what does the sun represent inside yourself? The sun rises every single morning, waking everyone up in the world. This is symbolic of self-realization and becoming conscious that you possess consciousness. The sun is the life force for all living beings on the earth. The sun gives all of its life and all of its energy and expects nothing in return. This is symbolic of true care and unconditional love. The sun represents love and care. All things are created through this generative force. This is symbolic of holding love in our mind and love in our hearts. This is the true Christ consciousness, love consciousness, because we are all one consciousness separated in individual bodies, and love is the unifying force that brings us all together. This is a surface level explanation, but in summary, Jesus as the sun represents self-awakening. It represents going within and awakening to your true spiritual nature as pure consciousness, not the body. It represents living in love consciousness, a mind and heart and life that is rooted in love and care for one another and the self. Jesus Christ is not a figure to be worshipped, but something to construct within our own mind and hearts. If you care about discovering your true power, join my private community, Ethereal University. Satan does not exist. It is a force of consciousness. The devil has veil within it. We live in a mental universe. Everything exists in the mind. God represents awakening the mind, expanding the mind, creating with the mind, caring and loving for one another, growing the mind, freedom of the mind and spirit. The devil is the complete opposite. Or Satan represents the forces that conceal people's minds, restrict people's minds, destructive thoughts, emotionless, decay, limiting the mind and material reality. Devil is just a force of someone else placing veils or obstructions in your mind to keep you limited so they can use you for their advantage. Satanic people do not worship the devil. They worship themselves, and they have no care for anyone else or the collective consciousness. A satanic person uses occult and psychological knowledge against you to use you to create their reality. It's all about serving the self and not caring for the collective. This symbol does not represent the devil. Upwards pentagram represents spiritual principles over earthly principles. Inverted pentagram represents material principles over spiritual, ignoring spiritual principles of connection with others and the divine, and only serving your physical body and egotistical needs. Satanism gives the illusion that it's going against Christianity, so they're always one step ahead. They're actually manipulating you and serving themselves. If you care about gaining your consciousness' full potential and learning more about consciousness, join my private community, Ethereal University. You are born into sin. Sin is the sine wave. Everything in creation does the sine wave. Midday, midnight, summer and winter. DNA, the dollar bill. The sun does a sine wave. You are born into a dualistic reality. Before you were born, you had a unified consciousness. Then you manifested into a dualistic reality and divided into a spiritual being and a material being, to light and dark, good and evil. Your consciousness split. You are born into the sine wave of a dualistic reality. Did you know baptism is a scam? To hide the true spiritual meaning of baptism? There are 4 stages of human awakening. Earth is stage 1. This is survival, when you are only aware of your immediate surroundings, your physical body, and your survival needs. Water is stage 2. This is truth, baptism. Dunking your head in water is symbolic. Dunking your head into knowledge, gaining knowledge that triggers your awakening, true knowledge. When you become aware of the knowledge, it triggers fire, the stage 3, the awakening. You become self-aware of the consciousness within you, which then triggers stage 4, air, self-mastery. This is when you start to master your thoughts, emotions, and actions. And when you master your consciousness, you then gain self-control and become a conscious creator. Dunking your head in water will not do anything. It's symbolic of waking up to truth and gaining information about yourself, which triggers an awakening. The question is, which stage are you in your journey of spiritual awakening? Sale ends today. Use the code FLASH to save 35% on the Book of Wisdom. Have you ever wondered why Jesus is always depicted with 2 fingers crossed over together? This hand gesture is a symbol of the most powerful teaching in the occult and esoteric world. Before we go into this, make sure to join my free Telegram. In the occult world, the number 2 represents the inner world and the outer world. This is symbolized in Freemasonry as Boaz and Jachin pillars. The sun on the left, which represents masculine qualities, what we can see, the physical world, action, the physical body, and the moon human on the right representing what we cannot see, the internal world of emotions and thoughts. In another word, you could say the world outside the mind and the world in the mind. Jesus with the two fingers crossed over represents unity consciousness. But what is unity consciousness? Unity consciousness is the main goal of occultists and students. The Matrix has programmed us to live in a divided state of consciousness. For example, your intuition, your internal world tells you to create a business, for example, but your physical actions are going against this and scrolling on TikTok. In this state, we have no true power to create because we are all miniature creators. Unity consciousness is where our thoughts, emotions, our actions, and intuition are all working together as one force. We align our inner world with our physical actions. We act on only things we know that are good. In this state, you become a powerful creator. This also represents merging the left and the right hemispheres of the brain to gain a clear perception of reality, because truth emerges when the left and the right, the masculine and the feminine, are in harmony. Basically, in simple terms, it represents unity consciousness. This is why we see the eye in the middle of the two pillars. The eye is single. Have you ever wondered why all the ancients used to hold canes? Canes we use today have rubber tips. Ancient canes used natural materials with metal handles and metal tips with a wooden pole. The ground is electromagnetic. These canes were used for grounding. The electromagnetic energy of the earth was connected to the body by grounding these poles. Today we use unnatural materials, which doesn't allow energy from the earth to transfer to your hand. These canes were not for fashion, they were used to ground. We have been disconnected from the earth. Rubber sole shoes were invented to disconnect us. The ancients even had grounding shoes. Everything today has just been inverted. We've never been so disconnected from nature. There's a spiritual reason on why Buddha has a big belly. The ancients spoke in symbolism. The big belly represents breath work. We do not just breathe air, we breathe consciousness. When we stop breathing, our body shuts down, we lose consciousness. And breath work is the fastest way to raise your consciousness. Simply just breathe in through your nose and out through your nose for 5 minutes very deeply. Your 5 senses will heighten and you will feel so much better. Buddha with the large belly represents the engagement of the abdominal muscles during spiritual breath work, practiced for thousands of years to expand consciousness and promote healing. The next time you feel low energy, simply just do breath work. And if you want to connect to a higher consciousness, simply do breath work. It will cleanse your aura of negative energy. It's the fastest way to gain more energy. Spirit guides are not guiding you. They don't exist. Your true spirit guide is actually within you, and this is your emotion. Every thought you think, every action that you've ever done is judged by your emotions. Your emotions tell you whether that was a good thing or a bad thing. In our hearts, we all know what is good and bad. Each one of us are encoded with God's law of love and care, and we're being guided through our emotional intelligence. Manly P. Hall teaches, every time you go against your soul's guidance of goodness, you destroy the electromagnetic field around your body, weakening your cells, your organs in your body. We quite literally degenerate ourselves by doing evil and going against our heart, which is an electromagnetic vortex, producing an electromagnetic field around your body. This is why positive people have a powerful presence, a powerful aura about them. Spirit guides are not real, it's just the new age. Everything is within. Here's how I used magic to escape the prison of my old miserable life. Magic is not what you think. It's the power to hack your subconscious mind. Beliefs act like filters. They shape how you see reality. And whatever belief you hold, your conscious mind always seeks to validate that belief. For example, I always told myself I was a failure. That became my belief. And because I believed I was a failure, I only perceived reality through this filter. I saw failures in other people, in myself, in environments. All because my conscious mind was seeking to validate my belief. So then I flipped the script. I used visualization, meditation, and rituals to reprogram my mind to believe that I was successful and I could achieve anything. After a year of doing this, my mind now seeks anything in my external reality to validate my belief of that I am successful. If something bad happens in my reality, I no longer spiral. My old mind would have told me, see, you're a failure. But now my mind says, you can overcome this. You can achieve anything. That's the power of reprogramming your mind. It doesn't just change how you think, it completely changes your reality. Demons can control your life if you let them. Here's how to get rid of them. Demons are not external deities trying to manipulate your body and mind. They are aspects of your own psyche, hidden traumas, hidden belief systems, and suppressed aspects of yourself which secretly control the conscious mind and conscious actions. For example, if you felt lonely as a child, this emotion you felt of loneliness deeply impressed your subconsciousness. This feeling is still deep within your own psyche, and that feeling may be subconsciously, unknowingly controlling your actions today by trying to seek validation from others all the time. This may come across as big-headed or too needy towards people. It is not a demon, but a belief in your subconscious charged with emotional energy, unknowingly controlling your actions, which is leading to destruction and negativity in your life. Demons are your own aspects of your own mind. Demons are negative aspects of your psyche that secretly control you. You remove them by questioning your actions and figuring out where these actions are coming from. And these actions will be coming from old belief systems and traumas. You need to restructure them through affirmations, visualizations, and meditation to restructure and heal that belief and turn it into a more powerful one. And that's how you get rid of demons. If that one hand movement can change the whole direction of the plane, now imagine the power of your attention and what thoughts you give attention to. That can shape your whole reality. Take care of your mind, people. Why is it Ronaldo covers one eye? We see this symbolism all over celebrities. It represents the hidden knowledge. The eye that's not covered up represents the eye that sees into the material world, the world outside of your mind. The eye that is covered up in darkness represents the inner eye, the invisible forces of thoughts, emotions that control the material body. You are an individual, a physical body, and an invisible forces of energy, thoughts, and emotions. Most people are asleep, looking only outside themselves, not realizing there is a world inside of them, an energetic world inside their mind of thoughts and emotions. These invisible forces shape our external physical life. By mastering your inner world of mind and aligning your physical actions with this, you can create anything you want in this life, because your life is a materialization of all of your thoughts. This just represents they are aware that they are not the physical body, and they have gained mastery over themselves, so they can create the reality that they wish, because we are all builders of reality, constructing invisible forces into physical reality. But most people are just stuck looking outside themselves and blaming everything else but themselves for the negativity in their life. If you want to change your reality, study consciousness and the mind. Why is it Madonna has this tattoo on her wrist? We even see this on our hands. This is the real meaning of hopscotch. This symbol is the Kabbalistic tree of life. It's a diagram that represents how consciousness turns into matter. Every object we see around us began as a thought in consciousness, then manifested down into the material world. Each circle is a force of consciousness. Malkuth is earth. Kether is pure consciousness, pure light, infinite potential. Our body is made in the shape of this diagram. All creation begins in the mind where the brain is, and then manifests down into the material world, Malkuth, the feet. Our feet touch the physical earth. Many well people study this tree. By learning these different forces of consciousness, we can use these forces of consciousness to bring things down into the material world. That's what we call Kabbalistic magic. Or you can use these spheres to ascend back up the tree for spiritual ascension. It's not a coincidence Adam adds up to 10, and Adam was the first person to be created in the Bible, because we are made in these 10 forces of God's consciousness. This is why we have 10 numbers. This is why the Hebrew language has 22 letters for the 22 pathways of this tree. 10 circles, 1 dat, hidden sphere, and 22 pathways, 33. This holds the secrets of 33, and even Christianity is linked to this. This is how I created my dream life in under 2 years. My dream life is simply just freedom. In order to create any reality, you have to understand the 3 forces that create reality. The first force of consciousness is thought. The best thing you will possibly do in your life is master your thoughts and only think and give attention to positive thoughts that align with your goal. Use your thoughts to believe that you already have the reality. The second force is emotion. Emotion is what you care about. Whatever you give attention to is what you care about. This is the Freemasons' G inside of the square and compass. generative principle. You generate what you care about. Whatever you place attention to, whatever your consciousness focuses on, that's what you generate. It's about creating care for what you're trying to create. You are a mason. Everyone is a mason in the world. You are a builder, a force of consciousness that turns thoughts into reality. Whether you're initiated into Freemasonry or not, I am personally not. But we are all masons, all builders of reality. So now you have a thought, an idea, and you believe the idea is already true. You use your emotion to place your love energy on it, which is care. What you care about is what you will create. That's Genesis, generation. Then the third one is action. Simple. There's something called unity consciousness. The three must become one. What you think, what you care about, and what you act all need to be one, working together. When you act on your thoughts and what you care about, you will create that reality. You need to gain unity consciousness and actually act upon what you feel is good and what you think. And every day, compounding this unity consciousness towards your goal, you will create anything you wish. Santa is Saturn. Christmas is the worship of Saturn. The 25th of December is Christmas Day. Ancient Romans celebrated Saturnalia to honor the god of Saturn, and this took place in December. December is ruled by Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. January and December are the months with the most deaths. Now this part blew my mind. Saturn is the god of death and time. Romans pictured Saturn with a scythe, which is a tool to harvest crops. Saturn is the harvester of the soul when you die. Romans celebrated Saturnalia to worship Saturn. And Santa is depicted on this sleigh, and Saturn is depicted on this sleigh. Christmas and New Year's Eve are the worship of Saturn. The winter represents death. Why are we celebrating New Year's and Christmas in this time? The New Year's should be in Aries, the spring, the new life, the new plants. Christmas has been renamed, but the symbolism remains the same. We've all been programmed to worship the god of death, time, restriction, and limitation, Saturn. You are the universe. 12 systems in the body, 12 zodiac signs. The sun gives life to the earth. Your soul gives life to your body. Your body is a miniature earth, and the soul is a miniature sun. We live in a soul system. Daytime is life, nighttime is death. Your skull shows you the 5 elements. Earth is the jaw, water goes in the mouth, air goes into the nose, fire is light, goes in the eyes, and your third eye is spirit. That's why you have 5 fingers for the 5 elements. The cycles of the physical world happen within you. Autumn is emotional, summer is spiritual, the winter is more mental, and the spring is more physical, earthly. You can use these seasons to your advantage. The seasons don't just happen outside you. They change your internal world and how you feel. You can use the moon to create reality. A new moon is when your subconscious is more closed. Full moon's when your subconscious is wide open. Reprogram your mind on a full moon. Menstrual cycle is a moonstral cycle. Cycles of the moon affect the cycle within the female body. Humanity is so lost because we've lost touch in our connection with the whole universe. The only thing that matters is the knowledge of yourself. Adam and God do not touch. Adam represents your physical avatar. God is in the brain because God is consciousness. God is reaching. Adam is slouching. Ignorance, comfort, lower mind. God is reaching and trying, which is the higher mind. All you have to do is to lift your finger to connect with God. God is consciousness. Lifting your finger is symbolic of just trying to meditate and trying to connect with your higher mind. This artwork is in the Vatican, and this is next to it also. Looking at the neck, we see the human brainstem, and another one showing you the human brain. The Vatican is showing you in your face that God is inside of you. God is the creative force within you that can turn thoughts into reality. You are a co-creator, creating your own earth and reality. You are a microcosm of the macrocosm. They want you to believe God's outside of you so you don't connect with yourself. Planets are not spinning balls in space. They are forces of consciousness. As above, so below. Each planet is a force of consciousness. The moon is your subconscious, intuition, and emotional currents. Saturn is the limiting aspects of your mind. When we become rigid, fixated, and restricted in our thinking, and when we overcome personal restrictions, we learn, we gain resilience, discipline, and wisdom. Mercury is your intellect, knowledge, understanding, and intellectual growth. It's the force of consciousness that allows you to communicate ideas and information. Jupiter is the aspect within you that wants abundance and seeks growth. Venus is the aspect of our consciousness that makes us want relationships, connections, and wants to look good. Mars is the protective force of our consciousness. self-preservation and defensive and assertive. The sun is our conscious awareness, our passion, our desire. You can do rituals to strengthen these forces of consciousness. You use these forces of consciousness to create certain things depending what you want. Everything is within you. The brain is not the mind. Just like how we have hot and cold day and night, the material world has an opposite called spirit, the invisible realm, opposing the physical, visual realm. The physical mind is the brain, and the spiritual brain is the mind. The mind can exist without the brain. The brain is nothing but a computer for the mind to operate the physical body. If the body remains in the present moment and cannot go forwards or backwards in time, but your mind can, that means your mind operates outside of time, space, and matter, which means you are a higher dimensional being using forces of consciousness to manipulate a physical body in a material world. The material world is the illusion. It has no power to create. Only you, the invisible intelligence controlling the body, has the power to create, turning thoughts into reality. And that's how powerful you are. Music is magic. It reprograms your subconscious mind. This is why you remember the lyrics, because it impresses your subconscious. Repetition is the fastest way to ingrain your subconscious. Repetitive beats puts the brain in hypnosis, where the subconscious mind becomes highly suggestible, planting drugs, money, and sex into your mind. Why do you think your body has to move to the music? Because it puts you in a hypnotic trance. Music invokes emotion, conditions your mind, makes your physical body dance, and can raise your energy or lower your energy. Music influences your four bodies: mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. Listening to music is a magic ritual. A ritual is just a ceremony you do over and over to invoke that state of consciousness to impress in your subconscious mind. Your physical reality is an externalization of your conditioned mind. Condition your mind wisely with the correct lyrics. Heaven and hell are not places, they are mind states. Your head is heaven and your heel is hell, and the bottom of the foot is called the soul. Your soul is suffering in hell if your mind is negative, filled with chaos, seeking validation from the external world. You are not your mind. You are the soul, the one who observes and controls the mind. Life is all a mental game. And if your mind is in chaos and negativity, you, your soul, suffers from the mind. Heaven and hell are just symbolic places, symbolic of the state of your mind. Life is an experience of the mind. Control your mind, you control your reality.
Freemasons always symbolize this coffin at the bottom of their artwork. This coffin represents unconsciousness, with the star representing you. You are a star, a being of light. It represents unconsciousness, lack of awareness. It's a condition in which we do not even recognize that we have consciousness. We take it for granted. We never stop to ask what it is, where it came from, or what our purpose actually is to have this consciousness. In this unconscious state, you have no personal power. Your mind is passive and highly influenced by the external world. We are easily shaped by collective thought patterns, cultural beliefs, media, institutions, and social pressures. Because we lack inner awareness, we lack discernment. And this is the state we must use the spade to dig ourselves out of. We need to dig ourselves out of this spiritual deadness, not realizing we live in two worlds: an inner world of forces of energies and consciousness, thoughts, emotions, and an outer world, a material world, a body. We need to dig ourselves out of this spiritual deadness and recognize the forces of consciousness within us that shape our material life. And when we reconstruct our inner world, we can start to reconstruct our external world, because the inner world mirrors the external world.